And so a couple things I want to talk to you about now that you are my jury. So when you're out there in that huge group of people, sometimes I think some of the things I said may just kind of get lost. So I want to talk to you about one thing in particular. Trials are everybody's human. We're here listening to people, and one of my goals for you 10 folks is to get you to relax. So I just want you to know when I'm massaging things with you and try to make you smile and feel comfortable, never for 1 second think that this isn't serious. I know you know that already. I don't want you to think I'm not being serious. I'm trying to get you to breathe, pay attention to the evidence, and keep the thing moving forward. So I always say that to every jury because I do have a sense of humor, and I think it works for the jurors. They write to me all the time saying thanks for the relaxed atmosphere I try to create. So with that being said, the state's going to call their first witness.
Thank you, Judge. This time state calls Matthew Huntzberger.
Matthew Huntzberger, please. Matthew, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And thank you for your patience. Watch your step. Although we have a pretty good alleyway right here, once you get past these two microphones, if you would do me a favor, raise your right hand and face Mr. Clerk for me.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, sir.
All right, Matthew, you're going to come right up here to the witness stand. Watch your step. This chair rolls, it swivels, it really makes it comfortable for you. So when you get yourself situated, what I'd like you to do for me is get that microphone where it's pretty close to your mouth and that bass moves and everything.
All right.
So you look a little like you're leaning over. There you go.
All right.
And then if you would do me a favor, state your full name for the record and slowly spell your last name.
It's Matthew Cory Giles Huntsberger. I have like a hyphenated name. It's Giles, and there's a space, Huntsberger.
And then, Matthew, would you do me a favor? Pull it down a little bit further.
Yeah.
And now, let me hear it.
Okay.
Very good.
The whole thing again? Or just
No, we got you.
just okay. Testing the mic, right?
That's right.
All
That's
right.
right. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ryan. Good morning.
Good morning.
A little bit nervous this morning?
A little bit, yeah.
Relax a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so you've introduced yourself to the members of the jury. What I'd like you to do right now, Matt, is tell the jury, where do you reside? Where do you currently live?
I live in Lantana on High Ridge Road.
Okay. Palm Beach County?
Palm Beach County, yes.
How long have you lived in Lantana?
About 2 years.
And are you currently working?
Yeah.
Where are you currently working?
I do insurance, and I'm a musician.
Now, when you say that you are a musician, what exactly of that band, were there other members along with you?
Yes, yes.
How many members in the band?
We had 4 people that night.
Who were the 4 people?
It was Boris Simeonov, Cory Jones, and Chris Cope, I believe, was there as well.
Now, that night, and specifically talking about October 18th of 2015, the 4 people that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
was this the first time that you guys would have played together?
No, we played a couple other. We actually played that whole weekend together. So it was, I think it was the 3rd show or 2nd show of the week. So we had played before that as well. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Cory Jones.
Yeah.
He was a part of the band as well.
Yes.
And what instrument did he play?
He was a drummer.
When did you meet Cory?
July 4th, 2015. That same year.
Okay.
Playing with a different band at E.R. Bradley's that night. It's the first time I ever met him.
So when you met him in July, up until October 18th of 2015, how many times would you say that you and Cory would have played in a band together?
Probably about, I'd say about 5 to 6 times, maybe, something like that.
Okay. October 18th of 2015, did you play a gig that night?
Yeah, we were at Johnny Mango's in Jupiter.
Okay. And what time did you get there?
I got there about 9:15, something like that.
Now, did you, when you got to Johnny Mango's, did you travel by yourself there? Did you go?
Yeah, we all took separate cars.
Right. So did Cory Jones meet you there?
Yeah. Yeah, he was, I think he got there about the same time.
And what time was that again?
It was between like 9 and 9:15, roughly.
9:15? Okay. Now, this gig that you guys played that night, how long did it last?
It was 3 hours. It was 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Can you tell for me, tell the members of the jury, when you met up with Cory that night, October 18, 2015, when you guys first got together,
Yeah.
what was Cory's demeanor?
He was just hurrying to set up, and so we could kind of chill. I think he was trying to eat food actually that night, so he was just a normal. He's always, when he's like on the drums, he's like really always happy and just a nice individual overall. Just so
Yes.
that's the kind of person that I knew from the short time that I knew him.
Okay. During the night, during this 3-hour period, Mr. Huntzberger, did you and Cory Jones, you just said that Cory Jones actually ate something while he was playing?
Just I think like right before. I think he had like we all got some food or something like that, like right before.
During the time that you guys were playing during the 3 hours, did you all have any drinks during that time period?
I think I had like a drink or two. I don't remember. I don't think Cory had anything from what I remember.
Did you have anything else? Did you do anything else together?
We smoked a little bit of marijuana on the break, kind of like alleviates the edge and makes you relaxed during the gigs. So.
And you said that would have been you and Cory Jones?
Yeah,
Okay. Where did you smoke the marijuana?
in his car.
And how much did you smoke?
It was like a joint, like a half of one or something.
So you basically smoked half a
It
joint?
was like a few hits each.
Okay. And you said that would have been one time during that 3-hour period?
Yeah, we just did it on that first break right then, correct.
Did you smoke with him anymore during that time period?
Not that night, no.
Did you see him smoking anymore during that 3-hour time period?
I don't recall. I don't believe so, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. So now, at some point, you guys get done with the gig, is that right?
Yes.
And what time would that have been around?
We finished at 1:00.
When you all finished playing, what did you do?
You basically just pack up your equipment, try to get out of there, get your money, and go home, basically. So try to, pay your tab or whatever you have. So within like a half hour, usually it takes about a half hour usually to get out of there,
Okay.
generally speaking.
Now, did you see Cory Jones when he left?
I don't remember.
So you remember packing your stuff up and you left?
Yeah, we all kind of just help each other pack all together. We all pretty much left at the same time, from what I recall. I don't remember 100% if I saw him as he was leaving.
What time did you arrive home?
I believe it was about 1:45, 1:50. I was about 15 minutes from there. I was living in Riviera Beach at the time, so it's a little bit closer to Jupiter. I think it's like a 15-minute drive. So I'm estimating between 1:45 and 1:50, roughly.
Okay. Now, when you left Cory Jones, did he tell you, or don't tell me what he told you, but when you left Cory Jones, you indicated to us a few minutes ago that you kind of just packed your stuff up and left, and you all just kind of just left at the same time.
Pretty much, roughly, within 10 minutes probably of each other. Usually the drummer has the most equipment, so he might have left a little bit longer.
So he may have been the last one to
He might have been the last one, yeah.
Okay. Did there come a point when, after you arrived home, that you received a phone call?
Yeah, I was like, literally just got home about 5 minutes, and Cory had called me, said he was he was having car troubles and asked me to come down and help him out and try to fix his car.
Did you know where to go?
Yeah, he explained it to me. I had to go up to Donald Ross because he was on a one-way, and then so I had to go. So it was about a 15-minute drive or so, roughly. I had to go up and then back, and from Riviera to Donald Ross, and then I had to turn around because there's no way to get to where he was unless you go you go like the 95, but you can't. There's nowhere to turn around till about 5 miles down the road.
Okay. So where you ended up would have been where the PGA off-ramp going south on 95.
I think it was 79C. It was going west. It was west. It was south, and then I think that way goes west.
Okay.
The one that I turned off onto.
Okay, all right. And when you pulled up to him, well, before I get to that, let me ask you this. You were already home, and for the most part, relaxing.
Yeah, I was like in my bed actually, about to crash out, but you know.
But Cory Jones called you, and you got out of bed and decided to go and help him.
Yeah, of course.
After only knowing him for just, what was it, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that.
What kind of person was he?
He was really, really nice person. He
I give you a little leeway. Let's keep it at that. And
So when you get to where Cory Jones is located,
yes.
what did you all do?
We just tried to like mess with a couple things. We popped it. Well, he already had the hood popped, and then I went in the car, tried to start it while he was messing with some stuff, and then I mean, we were both on mechanics, so it wasn't very effective what we were doing, but so then he had mentioned to get oil. We had tried to call we got road rangers over there because I had used them before, so I was like, hey, call these guys, or I think I called them, I can't remember. And so they came and they couldn't help, so I ended up.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you arrived, did Cory Jones appear to be agitated to you because his car was broken down?
No, not at all.
Had his demeanor changed at all from the time you left him at playing the gig to when you went to help him out with his broken down vehicle?
No, he was like a little frustrated, but he wasn't in a bad mood by any means. He was just like, he knew we were gonna figure out eventually, something to figure it out, Obviously it didn't work out, but.
And you mentioned that you called the road rangers for assistance.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Were you there when the road rangers showed up?
Yeah, I went to get the oil, and then they were there like messing with him when he pulled up, when they pulled up.
So you saw Cory Jones's interaction with the road ranger?
Yeah, I was on the other side of the fence by the, because once you go to the store, you can't get back to where he's at, so I had to just park over by the hotel at that point. So, yeah, I heard him talking to him roughly. It was like maybe 40 feet away or something like that. So
you could hear Cory Jones speaking with the road ranger about the car?
Yeah, they basically, he pretty much needed a tow, and the road ranger said he's not able to help him towing, and they were looking around to see if there's anything they could fix, and determined that he needed a tow at that point because there was really nothing else we could do.
At the time that you were able to hear Cory Jones speaking with the road ranger, did Cory Jones appear to be, was he speaking in a confrontational type manner to the road ranger?
No, because that guy was trying to help us. He was just like, hey, what can you do? He was trying to figure out, see if this guy could help us, and determined that he couldn't. And then we went back to the AT&T thing. And
Did he get irate because the road ranger couldn't help him?
no, I've never seen him get irate ever, actually. So no.
Okay. So now while they're trying to figure out what's wrong with the vehicle, you go to the store. And what did you go to the store for?
I got oil. he said that he was having a problem with his oil sensor light or something like this. And he said that he's fixed it by putting oil in it before. So we tried that. I got one, and then that didn't work. So I went back and got another one, and then obviously that didn't work. And he was on hold with AT&T, I believe, that whole time while I was making those runs.
Judge, may I approach the witness, please?
You may.
Shown these two photos to the defense counsel already. I'm going to show you what is going to be marked as state's composite 1A and B.
It's actually 4A and B. 4A and B.
Oh, okay.
It's no problem at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
4A and B. Let me take a look at these for you. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yeah, that was the oil that I got, the 2 quarts of oil, and that's this car.
Okay. Now, the two photographs, both of them, do they fairly and accurately represent or depict what the scene looked like, although these are daytime photos?
Yeah.
But is this the way the scene looked that night that you went and got the oil?
Yeah, exactly. We had actually pushed his car towards that light. His car was further down here originally, but we pushed it towards the light, so he'd be in the. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Matthew, I have to tell you,
Sorry.
during the preparation of this trial, I learned, maybe as a musician you know this, these are unidirectional mics. So when you talk to the side, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Only when you talk to,
Well, I was looking at
there
that.
you
Let me
go.
move it over a little bit. All right. Yeah, this is basically where everything looked. That's the oil that I got for him, and then his car was like underneath the light right there. Correct.
Judge, this time state.
Pause for a second. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had. Well, originally his car was further down, and then we had pushed it into the light. Correct.
And when you say further down,
It was like right there, roughly right at the beginning. It wasn't that far, and it was on a hill, so we kind of pushed it down a little bit.
okay.
Pause. Is there an objection?
No, I just want to know where there is, because we're not seeing.
Oh, okay. It was like, okay,
I'm going to show you.
it was roughly right next to the guardrail, and then we pushed it down to the light a little bit.
Okay, no problem.
Judge, Mr. Nouman, would you like me to show you before I ask permission to publish to the jury?
Whatever you want. I got it.
You ready to publish it?
Yes.
Let's put it up on the Elmo so we all can see.
Judge, first, well, let's say, evidence states composite 4A and 4B.
Any objection? No. Admitted. Hopefully, it turns on. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your assistance. Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what is now, this is 4A.
Look at that.
Okay, so, Mr. Huntzberger, this is the vehicle
Yeah.
that you were just talking about, the photograph that I just showed you, which is state's composite 4A.
Yes.
Okay, and those are the two oil bottles?
Yes, correct.
Now, what Mr. Nouman was talking about a few minutes ago is you said that the car was initially further back.
Yeah, exactly.
You pointed back here near this guardrail.
Yeah. When I first got there, we pushed it so so we were underneath the light, so we could see what we were doing, basically.
So that's where the car was initially, and then you guys pushed it forward.
We pushed it forward when I first got there. Correct. Yes.
And I'm going to publish
Into the light.
what is states 4B. And again, those are just two oil bottles that you would have provided to Cory Jones, right?
Yes, correct.
Now, at some point, Mr. Huntzberger, did you, once the road ranger got there and he was unable to assist
Yes.
Cory Jones, did you leave before the road ranger? Or did you?
No, I was still there after. I stayed there for maybe like 30, 40 minutes, something like that. We had tried, I tried to call my AAA, and then he didn't want to do that. And then I offered him a ride home. He didn't want to leave his drums. He said he had a lot of, valuable stuff in there. I was like, we'll just put him in my car. But then he said he had a church gig, so and he needed his car for the morning, so he wanted to stay there with his car. I guess is what he determined.
All right. So you say you stayed with him for maybe 30 to 40 minutes afterwards, and when you realized that he wasn't going to leave his drums with his car with his drums in it, did you then leave?
Yeah, I left. I don't remember exactly the time. Maybe 2:40, 2:30, something like that.
Okay.
Roughly.
Now, after you left, did you have any more contact with him once you left him there? waiting
No.
on a tow?
No, that was it.
Did you hear at what point did you hear what had happened?
Not till Monday, someone had sent me a message on Facebook regarding what happened, and I was like completely shocked. I couldn't even believe that.
That's it.
Pause there. New question. No problem.
Judge, may I have a moment, please?
You may.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Pause right there. Cross-examination.
Be close to this mic.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Couple of things.
Yes.
In kind of like chronological order. When you were at the gig,
Yes.
you had a couple of beers.
Yeah, something like that. Not 100%.
Okay. All right. Weren't keeping count.
Nah, I wasn't drinking heavily. I had maybe, they usually give us a beer or two with the gig, so I just probably had that.
Okay. You live in Riviera Beach, or did at the time?
I did at the time. Yes, correct. Yes.
South of PGA Boulevard.
South of PGA. Yeah, it was off Blue Heron.
So how did you get to where Mr. Jones was? Tell us the route.
I took up to North Lake. I went up. I was like closer to North Lake, so because otherwise I had to go way out west. So I went up that way. Went up. Went to what's it called? Donald Ross, and then I made a U-turn, and then I came back around the other way. That's the only way to get there that I knew of.
So you say when you went up, you took from your home, you went up to North Lake,
Yeah.
and then you
I
went
got a 95.
95.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't get off on PGA.
No, you couldn't get there from there.
Okay.
Where he was.
Okay. And so you traveled up to Donald Ross Road.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you got off 95,
Yep, and then turned
and
around.
got back on 95 going south.
Yes.
Okay. And it took you approximately 15 minutes longer than it would have taken had you gotten off at PGA?
I'm not sure on the time on that. I think it was like 8 miles more. So yeah,
Okay.
it was. Well, it's about 12 miles more, right? Because
Right.
7 to yeah.
So about 15 minutes maybe?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge, just briefly.
Take your time.
Mr. Huntzberger, defense counsel asked you about how you got there,
Yes.
up to Donald Ross.
Yes.
And it took you about 15 minutes because you had to go up and then come back around so you could get on 95 South.
Yeah, exactly.
When you travel 95,
Yeah.
are you familiar with those areas where it is official use only? Do you see those signs? Official use only?
I've seen them. I don't know if there's some there or not, but yeah, I don't. I mean, I know, yeah, they exist, but I don't. I didn't know if we're allowed to use those. So I usually just go, like a regular public allowed to use those, or I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you know- have you seen them?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've never used them, but yeah, I
Right,
see
you're
the
not supposed
cops
to use
sitting
them.
there.
Right, we're not supposed to use them. Right, but have you seen them?
Yes, I've seen them. Correct. Yes.
All right, and so when you are traveling and headed north up to Donald Ross Road, you don't know, at this point in time, you can't tell the members of the jury whether or not, in between North Lake and Donald Ross Road, there is an official use only U-turn where someone who is an official can make a U-turn before they get to Donald Ross.
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing one, but there might be one there. I don't know.
No problem. Thanks.
All right. You may step down. Watch your step. It can be tricky. And is he excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's excused. Thank you, Matthew. State, call your next witness.
State calls Clinton Jones Jr., sir.
Come on up, Mr. Jones. And good morning to you, and thank you for your patience. You're going to come right out here, watch your step, and once you get over there by Deputy Dunkley, raise your right hand and face this gentleman.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay. You're going to have a seat right up there as well. Watch your step. And I think you heard me talk about that microphone. It's tricky. And you're tall. So get it where you're happy. And then tell us your full name and, oh, you may. Come on up, Mr. Fernandez. So Mr. Jones, did we get to use... Thank you. They were waving at me to say the white noise is not loud enough, which is unfortunate for the rest of us, but I appreciate that. It means they could hear what we're saying, and they're not supposed... Good job, jurors. Thank you very much. And Mr. Jones, I think you haven't told us your full name and spelled it for us yet.
Clinton Jones, ClintonJones.
Terrific. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And, sir, how old are you?
38,
What's your occupation right now?
personal trainer, private chef.
Private chef?
Yep,
What kind of food?
any food you want.
And what city are you living in right now, sir?
I'm in Lake Worth.
And how did you know Cory Jones?
He was my only brother.
And was your relationship with your brother a close one or a distant one?
It was pretty close.
And say pretty close, did y'all live together?
Yeah,
How long did y'all live together for?
pretty much all the way up until 3 months until this happened, until he got killed.
And how many years would that be?
That was probably about, 2006, almost 7, 8 years.
And have there been times where you worked outside the state of Florida, sir?
Yes.
Prior to being a chef, what was your occupation?
I made it to the NFL, and I played for a couple of NFL teams.
What NFL teams did you play for, sir?
My first one was Cleveland Browns. My second was Seattle. My third one was the Patriots. My fourth one was Kansas City, and the last one was Denver.
And what position did you play, sir?
Wide receiver and cornerback, special teams.
And while you're a professional football player, did your brother ever live with you in the different cities that you lived?
Yes.
And take it during all those years, y'all talk pretty often basis?
Yeah, he was with me in Cleveland. He came up, and when I was in New England, Seattle, I wasn't there for a long time because I only made it there for training camp, so I wasn't there. But Cleveland is when we moved, 2004.
And is there a stipulation to the ID of Mr. Jones? In addition, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, you may.
Showing what's been marked for identification purposes as states 5, sir. Sir, can you take a look at this? Do you recognize who that is?
Yes.
And who's that picture of?
It's Cory Jones, my brother.
Is that an accurate representation of how he would have looked back in 2015?
Yeah.
Has to introduce the states 5, Your Honor.
Any objection? Admitted.
And published, sir.
You got it.
Thank you, sir. What did Cory do for a living, sir?
He worked for the housing authority in Derry, and he was a drummer
And as his job with the Delray Beach Housing Authority, what would he do for them?
He inspect houses, go in and check your water, see if your pipe was leaking, check your yards, make sure people, housing authority, their landlords was making sure that everything was up to code, and he was checking on it.
Now, as part of his job, would he go into bad neighborhoods and nice neighborhoods?
Yes, he pretty much gets it all.
And in 2015, do you remember what Cory's phone number was, sir?
Yes.
What was that?
573-2815.
And that's with the area code of 561?
561.
And you know what kind of car Cory drove back in 2015, sir?
Yes, the Hyundai.
And was that the silver one that we saw in the picture earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you'd said that Cory was a drummer, right?
Yes.
Did you own a drum set?
Yes.
Did you actually buy the initial drum set for him?
Yeah, I bought the drum when I was when I went to Cleveland. That was one of the things that he wanted. I bought it for his birthday. I bought that with one of my first checks I got in the league, and that's what I gave him for his birthday. And then I bought him the kit. It was like an 8-piece kit, and then from there on, he just added on to it. I put him in the school at Akron so he can become a better drummer, learn how to read music, and that's why he was so successful right now to this day.
And how much was that initial set of drums that you bought and then anything that he added on?
The drums was like $2,500 back then, so it was.
I'm going to give him a little leeway. Tighten it up, but yes. So you said 2,500?
Yes.
Okay.
And then did you buy more additional drum equipment for him since that time?
He did all the rest. After that, I gave him the basics, and he pretty much added on after his gigs or whatever he was doing. He would just buy stuff and add to it and to make it better.
And did he play in multiple bands and at different places or just one?
He played in multiple bands. He was very well known.
He played just in Palm Beach County or would he go outside the county too?
Yeah, he'd go outside the county.
And that SUV, would he use that to transport his drums?
Yes.
Was your brother right or left-handed?
He was left-handed.
And now he's a drummer, so obviously, I say obviously, would he play drums using both hands?
Yeah. As a drummer, most of the time drummers can play left and right. You know, I'm pretty much a drummer. I taught my brother how to play. I learned from my uncle in the churches and stuff like that, and we just. But yeah, you learn how to play both sides.
But when it came to everything that he did in the regular life, from eating to writing, everything else, was he right or left-handed?
It was left.
And just prior to his death, did Cory purchase a firearm?
Yes.
How close in time to that Saturday night, Sunday morning did he pick up that gun, sir?
I don't know quite when he got the.
Basis? Overall.
I don't know exactly when he got the gun, but I know when he showed me the gun. It was on that Saturday before he left for the gig.
So that Saturday, October 17th of 2015, you saw that firearm that Cory had bought?
Yes.
And where did you see it at?
I seen on his passenger side, on the passenger side on the seat. He had it on the seat inside the case.
And was this, did he come over to your house?
Yeah, he came by the house and he parked in the front. I was outside already, and he came around in the front. He's like, "Bro, I got something." I was like, "What you got?"
Sustained. Just don't tell us what he told you, but he's
Just
going
what you saw, sir.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I seen the gun.
And was it still in the box that he had purchased it?
Yes, it was still in the box.
And you saw it on his seat, or did he put it anywhere else?
No, it was on his passenger seat. He didn't even touch it. It was just on the seat.
Now, was he an avid shooter, or is this something that, kind of came out of nowhere?
Nah, he's not a shooter. Never. We never had a gun.
And did he explain to you why he bought the gun?
Just for protection, pretty much.
Sustained. New question.
You're not aware of him going target shooting, are you?
No,
You're aware of him going to the range and shooting on weekends?
no,
Pause. Basis? Okay, overruled. You may answer.
no,
Are you aware of him going shooting on the weekends?
no,
Are you aware of him being a hunter?
no,
Are you aware of him working in some tough neighborhoods?
yes,
Are you aware of him?
Ba- Give it a little leeway on relevance. I just want you to be more careful with leading.
Yes, sir. And you had previously testified that he had an expensive drum kit that he would transport in his SUV. Is that right, sir?
yes,
So on October 17th, there in the evening and the early morning of October 18th of 2015, did you speak to your brother, Cory?
yeah, I spoke to him. It was, I know the exact time. It was because that was the last time I talked to him. It was 2:52, and when he called, he was,
When you say 2:52, you mean in the morning
yes, 2:52 a.m.
on October 18th of 2015?
Yeah, that would be the 18th.
And why do you remember that, sir?
Because that was the last time I talked to him and was trying to give him help to get home.
Where was he coming from?
He was coming from one of his gigs he had to play in Jupiter.
And do you know where he was headed to?
Well,
Basis? Overruled.
Do you know
Just-
where he was headed to, sir?
meaning that
Where
night.
he was going to, yes, sir.
Oh, he was coming home.
And were you waiting up for him?
Yeah, I was waiting for him.
When you last spoke to him, did he tell you he was having problems with his car?
He told me that he broke down, but he didn't
Overruled.
know. He didn't know what the problem was.
And did you offer assistance to him, sir?
Yeah, I offered assistance to come get him. He said he couldn't leave the drums.
Just pause there. Next question.
And were you aware that he had been having some problems with his SUV prior to that, sir?
Yeah. Me personally, I think it was his gas. I think it was his gas. I don't know anything about his oil, but I know his gas meter level was playing around with him.
And to your knowledge, I know you said you offered to pick him up. Just yes or no, were you aware that he had a place to play his drums at that Sunday morning?
Yeah, he was going to play.
Okay. And did you offer to provide him with a tow truck?
Yeah, I gave him the number to a Palm Beach Towing, but he was pretty much on the phone already.
Okay. And was he on the phone with a different service to get a tow truck, do you know?
Yes.
Now, you know the area in which he was stranded and had problems?
Do I know the area? Yeah, yeah.
What area was that?
PGA?
PGA and?
And what?
Like, what intersection?
Oh, I don't know the intersection. I just know it's PGA exit. I didn't.
Exit off of I-95?
Off I-95.
Do you know how long he had been out there by the time he spoke to you?
Only, I wouldn't know exactly how long he was out there. 'Cause I
Okay, so
didn't-
just
yeah.
pause there.
That's fine. And when you were speaking to him, how was his demeanor?
He was very calm. He wasn't flustered or nothing like that. I just know that he was concerned about his drums and ready to get home because he already played.
Just pause. Pause for a second.
Did he sound angry at all?
No,
Did he sound as if he was impaired at all?
no,
Have you listened to a recording of an AT&T roadside assistance call from October 18th of 2015 from approximately 3 in the morning, sir?
yes,
You recognize the person on that call?
yes.
Who was that person?
That was Cory,
Any doubt about it?
no doubt.
He sound the same on that recording initially as he had sounded when you talked to him?
He sounded like he was every day.
Did that change at the end of that call?
Yeah.
1 second, Your Honor.
Sure.
no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. King? Sure.
Judge, we approach for a second.
Yeah, you can. All right, cross-examination.
Good morning, Mr. Jones.
Morning.
So I think we established your brother was a drummer. Yes?
Yes.
And he had drummed for quite some time. How long had he drummed?
Got to be. Shit, we've been drumming since. Got to be over 30 years.
Okay. And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, over 30.
All right. And you established, or you said that he drums both with his right hand and his left hand.
Yeah.
Okay. And you bought the drum set for him, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you would agree that that drum was a right aspect drum set?
And it depends on how you set it up.
Exactly. So the way he set it up, it was for a right-handed drummer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your brother, I think you testified he moved out about 3 months before the incident took place, correct?
Yes.
And it was during that time that he had moved out that he had purchased the weapon, correct? The firearm, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't go with him to buy the gun, did you?
No.
And you never went with him to a gun safety course?
No.
And you never went to a gun instructional course?
No.
Or you didn't go to the shooting range with him?
No.
And you've never been with him when he's handled a gun, have you?
You said what?
You've never been with him when he's actually handled a gun?
No. No.
And as far as you know, well, let's check that question, excuse me. No further questions, thank you.
Any redirect?
Cory was right or left-handed in everyday functioning.
Left-handed.
Thank you, sir. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, you may step down. Watch your step, okay? You're welcome. Do you have a very short witness? If you do, great. If you don't, we'll break.
Judge, I do have Madeleine Tolliver is our next witness. She is a roadside assistance person who took the call from Cory Jones. And I plan on playing the roadside assistance call through her. So if the court wants to, I can start now and play the call after lunch. Do I feel like?
So you just want to lay the predicate first?
Sure, I think it's stipulated to anyway, Judge.
All right. Well, just know that I'm going to break at 12:15. So your call. You tell me what you want. Then let's do it.
State calls Madeleine Tolliver.
Ms. Tolliver, please. Ms. Tolliver. Ms. Tolliver, good morning, and thank you for your patience. Follow the deputy, watch your step, and then raise your right hand and face Mr. Clerk for us.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right, now follow Deputy Dunkley. Watch your step getting into that witness stand. And do I have a juror that needs a new pen? Yes. Deputy Dunkley, help us out. We've got many, many, many more where they came from. All right, Ms. Tolliver, now I want you to do me a favor. That microphone, the base of it moves. Yep. And I want you to talk directly into the front, maybe just even pull it down just slightly. Now tell us your full name and spell it for us.
Madeleine Nicole Tolliver, Madeline Tolliver, Tolliver.
Okay, state.
Proceed, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Tolliver, I think you are recently married, right?
No, 9 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
That's not recent.
Well, I know you have a hyphenated, I mean, last time we spoke, it was Tolliver something, right?
Pharaoh is my maiden name.
Oh, okay, okay. Ms. Tolliver, I want to take you back to the time period, first of all, of October of 2015.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
Were you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
And where were you employed?
Allied Dispatch?
Now, are you currently working in a dispatch profession right now?
No, ma'am.
All right. Where are you currently working?
Right now, I'm unemployed.
When you were working for Allied Dispatch back in October of 2015, how long had you been working for them prior to October 18th, 2015?
That was the day of the call. I had been working there for 3 days.
Now, as a roadside assistant, what was your title?
I don't remember the exact title, but our job was to take phone calls for stranded motorists.
Okay, all right. And so, had you received training
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that purpose?
Yes.
Okay. And so, on the date of October 18, 2015, how much training had you had prior to taking the call from Cory Jones?
We had 2 full shifts of training and then 1 on the floor.
And when we talk about training, what does that consist of?
It's in a classroom. The first 2 days are they go through scenarios, practice calls, how to use the program, how to map out where the customer is, and just things like that.
And do you know, and you don't have to be exact, only if you know, how many calls do you think you would have taken in those 3 days that you had been working for Allied?
In the 3 days, close to 100 probably.
Okay, all right. So now let's talk about the early morning hours of October 18th, 2015, okay?
Okay.
You indicated that you were working.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did there come a point where you received a phone call from someone by the name of Cory Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recall what time that would have been?
It was a little after 3, I would say probably around 3:15.
And when you got the phone call from Cory Jones, what was the nature of the call?
At first, it was like a regular call. He was calm. He didn't even seem irritated, nothing like that. So it was just a standard call to begin with.
Okay, okay. And in your conversation with him, I don't want you to tell me what it was, just what did you need to do after speaking with him, or while you were speaking with him? What did you need to do for him?
Like the goal of the call
Yes.
was to find service for him, whether it was a tow truck or if he locked his keys in the car or needed gas. That was the goal of the call, was to find a service provider to provide those services for him.
Okay. And do you recall what he needed?
Yes, he needed a tow.
All right. Now, how long would you say that you were on the phone actually speaking with Cory before the incident happened?
I couldn't say for certain, but I do know that it was a short period of time. It was maybe 3 minutes.
Okay. And during this 3-minute conversation, what are you asking him for information?
Yes, the goal is to figure out where he's located and what the nature of the disablement is. So you ask, what's wrong with the vehicle, so you can figure out what kind of tow truck they might need, or where are you located if they don't have an address. Then we're looking for landmarks, any kind of specifics as to making it easier to locate them.
Okay, so you ask a myriad of questions so you can locate the person.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did there come a point where you asked a question and you didn't get an answer?
Yes, at the point where I asked him, were there any distinguishing landmarks around him, I didn't get an answer after that.
Did you ever get an answer?
No, after I asked that, I never did get any other answers.
Judge, at this time, we have a stipulation to what is going to be States 6, which is the AT&T audio recording of Cory Jones's phone call to
Okay.
Allied Dispatch with Madeleine Tolliver.
All right.
Move that into evidence.
I'll admit that. Stipulated to, correct. What's the number again? 6?
It's going to be 6, Your Honor.
Okay, number 6. And you're going to choose to publish it later.
Yeah, you know what, Judge, I can publish it later because we have a transcript of the recording that we've all agreed upon, and I like to give the members of the jury a copy of that transcript so they can follow along with it.
Why don't we wait?
Sure.
Why don't we go ahead and break for lunch? So,
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Tolliver, just stay right where you are. Let me talk to these folks over here. So we're going to take a lunch break. We went a little later than normal, not much, but we have a situation that totally irrelevant to you guys. That's going to cause a little later lunch than to be out a little longer. I got a feeling I got a really hard-working jury here, so normally I'd say just take an hour and 10 minutes. But today I'm going to ask you to come back. You're going to be with the deputy, and we got that taken care of. And I'm going to ask you to be back here at 1:35. And you're not to talk about the case, not to talk to anybody. No research, Google, Facebook, Twitter at all. No looking at any newspapers. If anything's like in a newspaper stand, turn your head and don't look at it. One thing is, did anybody bring their lunch with them? Okay, you did. The deputy's going to escort all of you. You got to go. You're all going to go together. I guarantee the restaurant's not going to care because it gets expensive to eat out. I told you, I promise, I'm going to spring for lunch a couple of times for you, and we'll have it brought in. It won't be from the Breakers. It'll probably be Jimmy John's, but you can get chips and soda and everything. So we'll do that. We're not prepped for it today. But also, when the days you do go out, anybody brings a lunch, I guarantee the restaurant's going to be very happy to accommodate everybody, and so don't hesitate, because I know it's expensive. Any questions? Okay, turn your pads upside down. Don't talk about the case. Somebody escort them into the jury room. See you guys back around 1:35. 1:35. And for whoever took it upon themselves to close my blinds. So I have to tell you, it made me think to myself, anybody who's watched Cool Hand Luke, you remember that old movie? And the guys are working in the fields, and somebody says, the underhand guy says, it's quitting time, and the boss says, you don't say quitting time, I say quitting time. Quitting time. Well, I normally said, who closed my blinds on me? But thank you so much for whoever did it, because I was getting blinded by the light there. So I don't know who did it, and I'm going to think about closing the rest of the blinds. I know it's a beautiful view, but it's really hard for me to see the faces, and I feel like it's important for me to observe the courtroom under this scenario. So thank you, whoever did it. You took it upon yourself. Risky move. All right. Absolutely. So we're in recess. Enjoy your lunch. Why don't you guys come back, try to be back by 1:30 so we get you all situated and comfortable before the jurors are coming in. Okay. Now, there's very little to put on the table, but you're going to do that. So based on my protocol to the press, anything you want to see, it will be on this table over here. They're going to talk to you about that. Ms. Tolliver, thank you for your patience. State, you still got Ms. Tolliver on the stand. We're going to excuse her, but you can't talk to anybody about the case now because you're in the middle of your testimony. But they're going to escort you and tell you what's next, okay? But watch your step, and I'd ask you to be back around 1:30, okay? All right, thank you very much. Watch your step. You guys got her, somebody. Do the lawyers need me for anything right now? No, sir. Everybody's okay? All right.
Judge.
Yes.
Clarification on the media as to the questionnaires. How are they to view them? Are they going down to the third floor? Or
No, they're going to pay for copies.
They're going to pay for copies.
And so far, the only request comes from the Palm Beach Post. They have an account with the clerk's office, allegedly. And so...
And do we give them a redacted copies, or you just want to just give them the copy?
No. You guys got to redact them, then make a copy of...
Yes.
So you might have to make... You might have to make
That's
a
what we're
copy.
thinking.